Okay. Oh, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, in the last video where you saw we graded the driveway to get rid of the potholes, we mentioned that Sammy was coming out with the dump truck to dump some gravel. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Now he's going to try to tailgate it the best he can. We did have some rain last night, and it definitely still left some muddy spots in the driveway. So we're hoping this works out well. Yeah, see, we're putting it down super thick. He's driving so fast I can't keep up with him. Well, as you can hear, Sammy dumped the load and he's just driving around the neighborhood. He's on his way out to get another load, and we'll come back and dump some more. You see, we left a little bit here because he stayed to this side. The plan is stay to one side, come down to another load, stay to that side. That should make the middle extra thick, and that'll give us our crown to start with. Less work for me to have to do with the tractor. So I know it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like he got it about 4 inches thick, maybe 3. And he made it almost halfway down the driveway with that. Right to there. Well, that was relatively quick. And yeah, guess we just gotta wait till he gets back to do some more. I'm not gonna worry about trying to spread it or smooth it out just yet. Now you can see, even though we had it graded the other day, how much mud has come to the surface and dirt and less gravel. And that's what the problem is. We got to get a really good base of gravel up on top of this that doesn't turn into that slippery, muddy clay. You know what, I may go get the tractor and just kind of back drag some of this water and soupy stuff out of here. Well, while Sammy was gone, I went and switched the tractor back over to the bucket. So I took the forks off, put the bucket on. Remember, I got a pin-on system. It took me forever, and apparently the time I did that, Sammy came back and dumped another load, and I didn't even realize it. So yeah, he's moving a lot faster than I expected. Well, we almost had a slight crisis. I was backblading a little bit, just kind of knocked down some of the high spots. All of a sudden I looked down and realized my phone was gone. It had fallen off the tractor, and I had backbladed it in to the gravel. Luckily, one corner of it was sticking out of the gravel, and I found it relatively unscathed. All right, well, while we're waiting a few minutes for Sammy to get back with another load, I was in here talking with Zach, and I just happened to notice something in the chicken bin, and I thought it was kind of funny. Kayla and Zach have been raising chickens, and for the feeder and their habitat, yeah, beer can and a beer box. Hopefully not raising alcoholic chickens. Well, I hear a noise. It's a noise that sounds like Sammy is coming back. So we'll be ready for this load anyways. Well, that quick in and out. I mean, he wasn't here, what, 30 seconds? He drove down the driveway, made his 3-point turn in front of the house. And on the way back out, he had the bed already up and just waiting till he got to the spot where he needed to drop. And he pulled that pin, let that tailgate open, and just drove right on out. He's gone again, that quick. Now, this definitely looks like a little bit of a wetter mix. There's good and bad in that. The good is it'll pack in a little bit better as we do this. The bad is when you're buying gravel, you're paying by the ton, so you're paying by weight. Well, when it's wet, it weighs more, and so it costs more for a smaller amount. Well, it sounds to me like Sammy is back with another load. This will be load number 4. Yep, I see him coming down the driveway now. And one more load done. Now, sounds like he's stopping. I got to figure out how to level this off. In the last half hour, I was out running a couple errands in between loads, and I finally got the key back to the building that the blue tractor is stored in, Joe's blue tractor. And there is like a big drag thing over there that might be good for dragging this out. I don't know. I have to go see. All right, so we dumped the 4th load, and then Sammy and I had a conversation. I think we're gonna do one more load because we still got that one spot in the driveway that's lower than the rest, and I want to kind of bring it up to the same grade. I know I hate to spend the money on another load because this gravel has gotten really expensive. And I was working on another project that we may have to put on hold. In between loads, I've been working all kinds of things, but here's what I'm working on now. You see we got this pipe laying on top of the ground that we kind of uncovered when we were leveling this pad for the metal shed. So I'm gonna cut this pipe and cap it off right down there. And then the problem is this is pitched towards this building. So when it does rain and the water comes off of this roof, it's running into the building and kind of like underneath. You see, you got a little bit of puddling going on here. I want to stop that from happening. So my plan is, with the water pipe out of the way, I'm going to try to come in here with that tiller. If you see it right there, it's a tiller that Zach picked up somewhere. I've never used it, but he says it ran, but it leaked oil. So we're gonna check the oil, check the fuel. I'm seeing him come in here and just break this ground up. And then I'm just gonna kind of reshape it. I'm gonna get it to pile up a little bit more towards the metal building, so that anything that runs off, we got kind of a swale in here, and get that swale to direct that water out here to this driveway area, which will then go down and drain off into the yard like normal, but stop the water from going inside the shed. So I just went up to the gas station and got some gas and some oil for the tiller. Actually, this oil was just something I had laying around the shop. But like I said, that's gonna have to wait a moment because now I need to focus on getting that tractor. So while I was at the shop getting that oil, I went ahead and looked at that big drag thing that's over there, and it looks like one of the pins to hook it up to the tractor, really loose and floppy, and it looks like there just isn't any more threads to be able to tighten it up. So I can see if I can find some big washers or something there that I can space it out with and get it tight again, and then hopefully hook it up to the tractor and bring it over here and see if it does the job. All right, so now I am back over at the shop, and I fired up the blue tractor and I disconnected the bush hog from it, dropped it off over in the equipment shed. And this is the device that I want to try to take over there. So as you see, this is just a welded box of rebar and angle iron in C-channel, basically. You see where it's designed to go on a 3-point hitch, and it's basically just a drag, like a land leveler. As this goes through, it'll knock off all the high spots, let things flow over the bars, and kind of level things out. I think that might work well on the driveway and some parts of the yard. But this was my concern right here. This is loose, but see, there's no more threads there. So I don't know how well that's going to work. May need to find some washers to fit it. But for right now, I'm going to try to manhandle it down here onto the ground so I can at least hook it up to the tractor and move it around easier if I need to. I wish I had the loader tractor over here right now to pick it up and set it down. I could go get the skid steer, but it's boxed in pretty good too. And it's got the grab at the moment. So yeah, I'm just gonna manhandle this, try to get it flat. All right, so it was a complete pain in the butt, but I got it done. Issue I was having is I couldn't get it off of here because it was catching on stuff. I didn't have enough in me to move it. This thing's heavy, it's all steel. And then the stabilizer arms that come out to the 3-point hitch, I had to loosen them up so I could widen them. And normally it's just pins, but here it was nut and bolted. So yeah, anyway, it's there. Let's get back over to the house, see if we can get some work done with it. Well, for the most part, I think it worked very well. So it worked kind of like a land plane. Even though there really isn't a cutting edge on it like a land plane would have, it did basically the same job. It allowed the rocks to just kind of flow over the bars, spread out a little bit, and kind of level out and flatten. Now, when I first got here, I had it set up, pitched a little bit too high at the rear. So the front edge right here was digging in really bad. And that's why we piled the top of this up with dirt and gravel. So I just cleaned it all out. In fact, you see I've got a heck of a pile down here now. So I'll still knock that down. But once I adjusted that top link a little bit to pitch the back end down, then it did a pretty good job. I've got it pitched down a little further than I think it really probably should, but it did a good job of like just taking off the high edges and letting it roll over. And man, it looks great. I've still got a crown in the middle. I've got a big hump down there where my low spot was, which will work in over time. But all in all, I think it came out really, really good. And amazingly, the tractor is still operable. When I left the shop, I noticed that this tire was a little bit low, as you can see. Well, because I was trying to get back here and be ready for when Sammy dumped that last load, which I failed. He was here and gone by the time I got back with the tractor because I had so much trouble getting everything to load up. I was like, well, when I get back to the house, I'll air it up. I got an air compressor here and all that stuff. So that was the plan. So I pulled the tractor up by the front porch because I got the air compressor sitting on the front porch right now. And I ran the hose out and I was getting ready to take off the valve stem cap. The second I touched the valve stem, water started spraying. So I think it's got a bad valve stem, which could be the actual tube. I'm not sure if these tires have tubes in them or not. I know my tractor does. I don't know whether Joe's tractor does. But the fluid wanted to start coming out. And so I was like, well, I don't want the tractor to be stuck and broken here. I want to get it back over to the shop. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just make 1 or 2 passes really fast and then try to get it back over there. And as I'm working, it stopped leaking, but I'm not trusting it. So yeah, there's still some moisture on the inside of the rim a little bit, but it was spraying right around the base of the valve stem. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tractor moved back over to the shop, and I am going to try and put the valve stem at the 12 o'clock position when I park it. And hopefully it's just a valve stem. We'll have to deal with that on another day because as you can see, the sun is on its way down. But guys, I am really, really happy with the way this came out. If you like this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time I see you, keep those engines running.